Fresh Roots started as a program under the Leftovers Foundation, which is a charity that I founded 7 years ago. And it really just started to be a food access piece for the communities that we were working with.
Fresh Roots is about connecting communities with healthy food and helping communities or populations establish a healthy relationship with food. And we've always wanted to be in the world of food access and food security. We realize these are just really complex problems, and you're not going to solve, hunger or food access or food security issues with food waste. They're just way too complex of systems. Because of charitable status at Leftovers and just the pure momentum behind this, we weren't able to run it as a program, and so we created a whole new nonprofit. So now this is a nonprofit social enterprise, completely on its own. It's 6-ish months old, and we've done over 15,000 transactions this year.
I have an urban planning background, and I think the way we've designed our cities is really unequitable in terms of food access. And so we have a lot of the marginalized and vulnerable populations in places where they don't have a lot of healthy food access that they can get to. We're here at East Village today. A lot of the seniors have mobility issues where they just can't physically get to a grocery store in the summertime, never mind the winter time. And so you run into sort of, a myriad of food access issues that don't only have to do with income. It also has to do with mobility and schedules and whether you live in a food desert or not. And so all of these things kind of come together where food access is one of those, critical issues that we need to look at as a city.
This program is fantabulous. It's affordable, it's accessible. The people between these two buildings need that. A lot of them don't go anywhere. It's an excuse to make sure everybody is still okay and still kicking, and it's healthy, so that's what we like about it. I wouldn't miss it any Wednesday of the week.
With food and for people buying groceries, a lot of people in the city don't have the luxury of having a vehicle. So taking transit is something that a lot of people are doing, and there's not many grocery stores on transit lines. Calgary Transit has been an incredible partner. They actually asked us to be here in the first place. And in terms of people getting on and off the train, it's so perfect at the end of their workday or before they go to work. They can get a few pieces of fruit and vegetables, but really it's that mobility piece, and for people who don't have access to a vehicle. That's really what Fresh Roots is about, is providing access to affordable and healthy food.
Food is something that is what we need to survive, but it's also the number one thing making us sick now. It's the number one thing we spend healthcare dollars on. We do a lot of symptom treating in our healthcare system, and we don't really invest in the preventative measures of it. And so what's lacking is a healthy relationship with food, and food being a positive thing in your life where you have the skills, the culture, the education, the access, and the affordability all come together for you to have that meal planning and proper diet and nutrition, and not just doing it because Canada's Food Guide tells you to, but because you understand how your body works and why it's important for you, and why too much of one thing, whether it be ultra processed foods or sugary beverages or whatever it might be, might lead to these health systems. And so that's kind of what we set Fresh Roots out to do. We roughly go to about 20 different locations. We do about 16 stops a week. A stop is anywhere from 60 to 120 minutes long. We do 4 Indigenous reserves around Calgary, working with health centers. We work at the Alex Community Food Center, at transit stations, community associations. We set up at universities. We work with the City of Calgary in the home program and set up at places there, working with city social workers.
Community is everything. We wouldn't exist without our amazing community. They've been the key driver in basically everything that we do. That is why we're here. We're trying to make the world a better place. We're trying to improve the lives of people in Calgary.
We've built a framework or a foundation for collaboration. We really like to just be kind of half the equation. Everywhere we go, we partner with an organization or a group within that community to help us, communicate and market to and engage that local community. It means a lot to community members when they can come down and see members from their community helping set up, helping tear down. It's a familiar face at the checkout. Typically, we only run one of our team members, one staff, who just kind of drives the truck, and then we work with community to do the rest, and they kind of stay behind the scenes and let the community kind of take over while we're set up.
It's very good. I like the project. and it seems to help the people. And I help them bring the stuff out, I set up, and then usually I take the box to the recycling.
Each location that Fresh Roots is in is a completely different experience. We are so grateful that community partners really are the champions behind this. They market and tell their community members about Fresh Roots and where we're going to be and when we're going to be there. They also help us know what produce to bring in, what's culturally appropriate for that community. So without them, we wouldn't be anywhere near successful.
So we get all of our fruits and vegetables and all of our produce through H&W Produce, which essentially allows us to access all of the same growers and distributors and other food players in the city, just like any other grocery store. They are a family-owned and run business with 5 stores in Edmonton and 1 in Calgary, so they have the ability to buy things in volume and pallets and work with these growers and distributors, and then just add a few numbers to each order for us to help us so that we're able to go in every morning, not have to have our own warehouse space. We share everything with them and pick up the individual cases of the items that we think we just need for that day. So we're getting fresh input every day. Otherwise, to even work with those growers and distributors, we'd have to be buying in volumes that wouldn't be sustainable for us. And so working with them has really been essential in us for risk mitigation and kind of, growing sustainably. And we get bread. Yeah, that's another amazing partnership. We get handmade, local, organic, preservative-free bread from Prairie Mills. So essentially what they're able to do is it's baked on Wednesday, goes on their discount shelf on Thursday, and then we pick it up Friday morning and it's all gone by Friday. Best bread in the city, and we are able to sell it for $1 a loaf. Our whole model is based off of partnerships and collaborations and leveraging every opportunity and resource out there to be able to offer the most amount of value for the people who need it. So we really are we're just the bones, and everybody else fills it out, and it really wouldn't be possible without dozens of partners.
I wanted it to just be a nice little program under the Leftovers Foundation, but we started with the 4 communities. We started getting calls from other social workers who were also concerned about, their clients' access to healthy food and how that was something that they wanted to sort of problem solve in their community. And so the pilot project turned into what we have now is a social enterprise to be operated in 2 cities here in Alberta.